Hi everyone. Right, let me just find the video. Sorry about this, it takes a while to find the video. Also, my Facebook keeps changing it because I have Facebook opened here on my iPad and then I look at the YouTube comments above. But for some reason my Facebook, what it does is it keeps putting it as like most relevant, not newest. And for some reason it doesn't think that my posts are most relevant to me, which is like, it's good because then I don't see my stuff on my feed, but just makes it harder to find the videos. Yeah. Oh, can't spell today. No. Right, oh, hello Diane and Dee and Pam and Debbie and Raquel. Woo! Right, so for all those reminders, so this is what we made last week. We are going to wax this before we go on to the next page, but today what we have created with our machine specifically for you guys and for this class tonight, what we've been creating today. We'll first start off with what Mum designed, which was her vellum half sheet that she used in the Friday night class. We now have a rice paper version, which is exclusive to our bundle tonight. And then I did a few little drawings over the weekend and designed a few things, and then Mum put them into our templates. So then we were able to make 2 stamps. So they're both sketchy circles. So we've got one big sketchy circle. The measurements of the circles are on the products, so I just don't have them here with me. Actually, I could pull out my ruler. I'll pull out my creative ruler because my brother has not bothered sealing this yet because it's tealed, so people know it's mine. See, I made it teal. I only thought about making it pink after I painted it teal, but like, you know, no point. So the larger one is 1 5/8 by shivers. By 1 3/8. And then our little circle. So our littlest one is a 1/2 inch, and our biggest one is 3/4 of an inch. So the smallest one is, yeah, they're around. Well, hello Tash and Sandra. So yeah, those are our 2 sketchy circle stamps that we made today out of my drawings, and then we made a script stencil that we're going to have a try using tonight. Also, if your Facebook is not working tonight, we have this class live streaming, and it will be there afterwards as well on YouTube. And if your YouTube's not working, we are live streaming to the Scrapbook Fancies Creative Family group in Facebook, which will also, it'll become permanent there as well. Last week's video, I do have to re-upload it tonight after class, just because there's a bit of a connection with it that if you try and pause it while it plays and then go back a bit, it doesn't actually work anymore. It glitches and stays still for the 30 minutes and then plays again from the beginning, not from where you chose to go back to. So I will be re-uploading that. So we're just going to quickly wax this page. And the reason why we are waxing it is because we used a lot of acrylic paint, and our layers, while not being thick, they were heavily loaded, and acrylic paint can get quite sticky when it's not fully dry in the middle layer. Like, it'll be dry at the base and at the top, but just not in the middle of it. It's a very small, like, it's less than a micro mil of wetness. but still it'll be sticky, and that's what sticks your pages together. I don't want this. I don't enjoy doing spine work or having to tear my pages apart and refix collage. I find that quite distorting. So while we remember, let's wax our page. Nice simple process. Done with the candle, and we're good to go to the next one. And it doesn't stick. See? When we remember, we do that. Some weeks we forget to, and then I like finish class and I'm like, and then I do it on Tuesday morning before it is too late. So what shall we do? We're using the big one tonight. I thought these three were pretty self-explanatory, and I also think they look better on a card because I have an idea. So we're just going to put those ones aside. And we're going to use these three as our mixed media bundle for tonight. I believe it is already live, so if you guys want, go and have a look at that. But yeah, I don't have a scribe, so there won't be any links. Just a heads up, Friday nights are scribeless because, well, why not? Now, I need to grab out my tag before we forget. Oh, that's where the two I still had to finish were. I was trying to find the two tags on the weekend that I hadn't finished off the week before, and I could not find them, so I didn't do any of my tag homework again. I'm sorry. But what are we thinking? Are we thinking we're going to do two tags or just one again? We could be really sneaky and do like one coming in there and one doing like one coming out there. Or actually, hold up. I've got plans. This is going to take a bit of effort and it might not look good, so just a heads up, this might be a bit of a flop. So scribe, and because we're going to be lifting this up and down with the idea that I've got on my head, which I cannot verbalize because I don't know why, we're going to use 6mm tape because it is going to be lifted up and down. We're going to put that in a reachable area, and yes, that is my mum's 6mm tape, so that's why I had to like walk around my desk to go and get it. Right, here we go. Also, my asthma is playing up a little bit, so if I sound short of breath, it's not the fact that I'm going to have an asthma, a heart attack. It's just because my asthma has decided that I am not going to be able to breathe while it's winter. Which is odd because our first few days of winter, it's actually gotten warmer here again, which is nice. Like, I'm not wearing a jumper, I'm wearing a singlet currently. Don't get me wrong, it's like a knitted singlet, so it still has like a lot of warmth to it, but still, it's not cold. Last week by this time, if you were outside of a jumper, you were mad. But yeah, no, so a bit warmer. So we're just coming in with some gesso on the end of our sponge. Any sort of sponge does. We want to keep this rather thin because we want this layer to dry really quickly, so then we can do the next layer with watercolor and make like a resistance. And we're using gesso because it's quite a neutral color, which means, well, we're using white gesso because it's a neutral color, and it's going to help us keep our work nice and light because this one here might get a little bit dark. There is the chance of that happening. That is one of my tags that I have not finished decorating yet. I know you can't see that. I promise you'll be able to see it soon. Just gotta let it dry naturally. And the thinner you get this layer, the better the technique's gonna look. I know that's really hard to tell when you're doing like white on white. Well, hello, Margaret. But it overall will make sense once we add the watercolor. I promise. You just gotta trust me a little bit on this one. Right. There we go. Now we've got that there. I'm just going to come up and do this one here. We'll do a bit of a tag because we'll add to the tag as we go. Right, so I'm just going to, I know this seems unnecessary, but we definitely want this layer to be dry. Remembering for this journal, we're doing something different and we're coming in with our collage last. So we're kind of working in reverse. So we're doing our light layers first and then we're going in with our collage layers. Because it's going to winter, we are trying to stay light on the paint. As typically when it hits winter time, all of a sudden I decide to do a bunch of wet techniques. And then obviously we make pulp quite a few weeks in a row. Which is just not at all inspiring. It's hard to get out of a way of doing things when you've made pulp for several weeks. So, you know, we're avoiding that this time around. And we're going to use our water, not our gesso, our water. We might move that away. We're going to need a thicker brush than that. 1 minute. Oh, yes, I remembered to grab my paintbrushes from the shop today, which was nice. So we're just going to come in with our nice flat. Well, it's not flat, it's a curve. Flat brush. And we want to start off nice and light. So we've got this peachy colour. So I reckon maybe if we go with mustard. You can't really see that, can you? Let me see if I can find. No, well, mustard and then pink. Maybe even like a nice grey, maybe. Let's try grey out, actually. We don't normally use grey. Well, hello, Shaz. If any of you got colour suggestions, please just tell me. I'm not really set on the colour palette that I've just talked about, but I think it might be interesting if we do grey. So what we're going to come and do is we're just going to put our grey down, and we're keeping it really, really wet. Like, not oodles wet, but like... So our paintbrush isn't dripping, but it's enough on there that if we like force it down, it's going to make a drip or two. And why we want it to be this wet is so then when we come in, the water resists the dry gesso and gives us our script that we did. See? I think that's so cool. And therefore, it will give us the outline of our tag. Look at that. See? Sometimes my idea works. This isn't the bit that's probably not going to work, by the way. This is the bit that's definitely going to work. It's the next bit. So, and the way you've got it, the more resistance you're going to be able to make. If you have it too dry, your brush, it's not going to resist the gesso. It's just going to go over top of it like another paint surface. I'm going to do this directly in the middle, even though I know that's against composition rules. Your genetic rules, anyway. Composition. Well, see how my paintbrush was not wet enough, so it stopped resisting. So we've got to go and add more water in. So it keeps resisting. Let's see. I do like that. So we're going to come and dry that now. Now, with watercolor, it does dry a fair bit paler than what your actual paint was. We gessoed on this script. It's okay. We're going to do it again. We're going to do multiple layers of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove our tag. Actually, before removing our tag, I'm just going to grab our pen. We're going to save ourselves a lot of time and effort. Oh, dear. This is what happens when you get paint on your pen. I don't know if you can see that, but I have gesso all over that paint tip. Over that pen tip, which means that pen is now dead. That's why you do not mix your pens with paint. Let's see if we can find a different pen. It's a nice width too. No, we're going with gold. Fingers crossed it works. Our goldy pastel one. Yeah. Oh, it works. Would you look at that? And then just a heads up, these pastel pens aren't permanent. So when we go over our next layer, we might lose some of this, but that's okay. And yes, we have a teal border for this artwork because for this page because our class last week went over the border a little bit. But right, so now we're going to come and do do we go like this directly down, you reckon, or do we go into it? If we go into it, it might be a bit more different for us because normally I go like this. I think if I go into it, I might just get a little bit more to it. Right, there we go. And I'm going to come in with the same process because this is mostly dry. It's touch dry. It's not dry. I'll fully admit to that. We ain't going to get dry in this class tonight because we don't have enough humidity anymore for the next season. So, you know. And we're just going to grab a big bulb of our gesso out and put it on our lid. I use a lid because I've got this seal in it that comes with the matte gesso paint tub, and I've stuck it into the top of my lid. So what happens is then it seals it when it's closed, but it automatically comes off and things. So I don't have to try and see if I've got nails to lift it up. Oh, hello, Lorraine. Also, just a bit of an update on your retreats. Anyone who's doing the Cutest Farm retreat, your retreat kit has more than likely left the building unless you are picking it up or you've requested for it to be posted a bit later. We do have one or two ladies requesting that this time around just because they have a few family events on. That's a good. We are happy to work around family events. We know that ourselves. For example, this week on Friday, my younger brother has a music concert for his school, so our Friday Night Live will be on Saturday instead. We are truly sorry if this causes an inconvenience, but it is important that we go. Noah takes his music quite seriously, so we're going to go and have some fun as a family. share lots of pictures. Obviously, my mum loves taking pictures, like all of you lovely ladies. I scared myself the other day when I was having a moment. I was like, oh, I need to take a picture. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm adulting. It's like step, what, 57 in adulting? Anyway, so we're just coming in and we're lightly stenciling this on again. We don't want thick, clumpy layers. The smoother we get it, the better the reveal. And then we're gonna keep on adding to this page over here. Now, just be fully aware that your watercolor underneath might slightly move with your sponge, because watercolor is not permanent until it's fully dry, so which means that we can lift it up a little bit at this stage, which is kind of like a blessing, because if you don't like your first layer, going over it with a second one is pretty much guaranteed to work, and it also means that it might blend in a little bit with your bottom layer, so you won't lose, like say you like some bits of it but you don't like the majority of it, you're not going to lose those bits that you like. Instead, what will happen is that they'll blend out into your top layer. So, you know, it just kind of helps. So I know you cannot see where we've just gessoed, and that's kind of the point. Because the smoother it is, the better quality. Family first. Yes, family first. Like, all of you guys are a family. However, unfortunately, you won't be able to see Noe perform. But yeah, lots of pictures will come out from it. Oh, hello, Michelle. That's okay. I think you can see it. Yeah, I think you can see a bit of it. Once again, I'm just quickly drying that, because the drier it is, the drier the gesso is for this next step, the better it will be. It's okay, Michelle, if you're late. Our family is known as the Late Shores. Honestly. Literally. Family events, we are called the Late Shores. There's nothing like more true. Let's see. We said we were going to do this pink. I just don't know if it's going to match. What's this color at the end here? Is that white? Yeah, that's white. Okay, that's not going to work. Just put white on. We could go with this brown, or hold up. We might get real fancy and mix colors. Do some color theory while we're at it. So let's get some of this brown. And as you can see, this stuff here doesn't dry when it's on the paint lid permanently. It just... And that's the thing, you can use your watercolor lids as paint palettes for as long as you want, over as many years as you want. So if you make a color that you like, you can make it here, let it dry, and then come back like 3 months later and yeah, use it. So we're just trying to make a bit of a browny pink, because our pink's a bit too bright and our brown is a little bit too dark, so we're just trying to get more of an apricot-y color. And I think that's the color we're aiming for. Yeah. Let's try this out for size. Now this might not work as well as your first layer, because you've already done a layer. So the potential is that it's going to pick up the wrong resistance. But we're just trying it out for size. It might look really cool. It might not. We'll see. Oh, I do like it. I just think our color needs to be a bit darker. a bit more prominent. And how you get that with watercolor, so you just go through and you add another layer, making sure that you still got the water there to get the resistance. There we go. And there's that one. I do think that looks quite nice. So let's just remove that. Oh, look how cool that is. Got an overlay. That's pretty nice. I do think we should come in with a different color this time, though. We used gold last time. Maybe if we use... let's go with the lead pencil. This is a 7B lead pencil. It's just... I keep it in my stash because it's nice and dark and I can see it quite clearly when I draw, which is good. It's not always a guarantee some days of the week. Cool. And then what we might do... So I know this seems a bit different. I'm just going to come in and do some hatching. Oh, you changed chairs, did you, Fat Cat? How you going? How'd it work out? Because that's the script stencil as a resistance. That's nice, isn't it? Resistance. It's resisting still. Really? No. You paid for high quality education. I did. Tried to think what would have happened if I'd given you a crap education. I shudder. I shudder to think about the consequences. Probably would have been illiterate. Here we go. Right. So is everyone okay? They're all enjoying it? Hope so. Well, your bundle is on the website already. Excellent. We will attach a photo of the end class to it, but yeah. That can't happen until after class. We just come on doing these lead pencil lines because I chose the lead pencil because it matches our grey layer a little bit, but doesn't add any more water to it because our page is getting quite wet. I don't know if you can see that, but like you can see the page texture, and that's where it's coming through, and that's because it's quite wet, like really wet, to the point where we should consider not putting any more wet stuff on, but we are, because we're crackers. No, because I'm crackers and you guys have come to the really scared. The moments. Right, I'm looking for specific things right now. Gold paint, because I think it might look really good if we have a bit of a sparkle on there, and I reckon gold's going to match our thing perfectly. A black paint pen, because we're going to need it for the next step. I think we could do some really cool drippy type stuffs with it. And we need a colour for our stamp. Now, with our stamp, where is it? Just having a think. Maybe an olivey colour? I reckon we could go and use it with alcohol ink. But I will have to open up the house and I might freeze to death because I just realized that we're only hot because we have all the windows closed. This cotton cream will look really nice. We are using our usual, our usual rainbow journal. It's an Art by Marlene collection one, and we're up to the orange book on the inside. As you can see, they have 5 books. So they have a red, an orange, a yellow, a green, and a blue. We have done our red, and we're on our orange currently. And the next one after this, we have yellow. So, yeah. Let's see. What color were we thinking, guys? Or we could go for this little orange shimmer, which will match our gold. And then we could do flakes of green. Ooh, look at that. I'm selling that, aren't I? Flakes of green. You know, that came out of the tip of my tongue. Holy poo. Reading non-fiction has helped my vocabulary. Don't tell my mother. She'll tell me she told me so, and then I'll have to admit to it. God almighty. There'll be a moment when it flakes of green. See? I know I have the green somewhere. Right. Let's put that one down. Oh. Yes. See? Green. Michelle, you and I on the same brain plank. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I just need to drink water. Thank you, Cheryl. And I am B. Yeah, so let's get started on this one. Thank you for your suggestions. Oh. It's going to be on me whether I like it or not. Okay. So next step we're going to do is we're going to come in. Just going to make sure our pen is activated and our water spritzer is on the correct spray. Alright. Why is it that it always gets really pointy? Sorry, my brother's used it, my sprayer, as a cat spritzer, and he's changed it to like a super sharp point, so I just had to reset it. And the best way to tell, I find shooting it into a pair of jeans, because you can see where it exactly sprays, like a piece of fabric or something like that. I find it a bit hard when I do it on paper and on my hand, because I literally it just goes everywhere. So yeah. Just had to readjust that. Okay, so let's come over here. And we're just doodling these ones on. Just let it spread a little bit. And this is so they're not exactly perfect, but they're just like a little bit. Oh, shit, that's wrong paint. I've got 2 paint things up here. One's empty, one's full. Should just spray hot water on them. Right, there we go. It's just to make it so the script is coming out the paint pen bits. Add a bit of shading to that as well. And there we go. I'm going to come over here. And just add. You don't have did this by hand. You could do this with one of your own stamps or anything like that. I just find it fun to do it by hand. And it's more or less just having a go at drawing stuff. When I'm not on lives, I try drawing things that I don't normally draw, so then I learn how to draw them. I'm currently working on an idea for an artwork. I had like toying around in my head ever since I saw a piece by Charles Demuth. He believed in playing around with the concept of being able to show different times of the day on the same building in the same artwork by fragmenting it into different sources of where the light was coming. So it's very interesting, and I'm trying to do it myself, and my first attempt has not been a great success, but I feel like I'm on the way to you're never going to get something right on the first attempt when you're trying, so you know, you just got to keep at it. And we're doing this once again also to really signify the border between our two tags here. As you can see, and then we're just going to come in and wet that just a little bit. Get them to spread naturally. As you can see, they're blending in quite well. And that just also means, because that grey that's coming off is kind of the same grey as our watercolor, which is a happy coincidence. Which means we're just bringing that bottom layer back up into the top again. So we're really getting that blend between our layers, which is nice, because sometimes we do miss that. And that's why it's harder for us to get dimension in some of our pages. And we're going to come and dry this spot here. And stick our tag directly on top of it. So we're going to have stuff underneath this tag here, but that's okay. It's the whole plan. And then I'm going to come dry this page over this side. Oh, thank you, Diane G. So yeah, by spritzing the black, it also mutes it down a bit, so it's not so harsh on the eye. And if you are scared of using black because you've had bad experiences using really dark paints, can understand. Then it's like an easy way of being able to like walk into it, I guess. Oh, and thank you, Pam. Yeah, the idea for the script stencil was, so then I have a lot of script stencils. I will fully admit I own about 4 of them. However, after a few goes, I either rip or they get really clogged because I might forget to clean them, or I have mental breakdown and forget to clean them because my mental health isn't always spectacular when I'm painting, and I lived alone for a few years. But they always seem to get really broken really fast. So the idea was to make it thick enough so then it was Naomi proof. And I think it is, which is nice. And so then it didn't have the ridges, so then when you do come in with a palette knife, you're not going to lose like half a mil on the edge because there's no ridges on it, so it's nice. Like all of our stencils, no ridges. I have this thing against ridges on stencils. It annoys me. Like you would not believe. Right, and then we're just going to spread our glitter. I think we might try and keep those dots there, but also come in and spread it a bit here. There we go. And then just need a little bit more, but not too much. My gold glitter is starting to run out, so I just need to be a bit careful, because when stuff starts to run out, it's easy to tip out more than what you actually need. And that's where you end up with problems. So we're going to put that back on. Yep. And we'll lift that one up. As you can see, they've got that there. And we're just going to come in and heat that. Try and get like a light dry on it. So our glitter paint isn't too bad because it's really controlled, unlike most glitter sources. I think we can all agree on that one. Right, and then we've got our stamp. Now I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I'm going to stamp before I put these down, because if I try and stamp over top of, because the rice paper, when we stick it down, it looks really nice, but it is actually quite wet, and it stays that way no matter how much we dry it. And when you stamp on it, you can remove it when it's wet, so we're going to leave that until last and come and do our stamp first. So I like tipped my finger into the top of the bottle, and that's just because this shimmer paint is fairly thick compared to other paints, and then you want it to be quite smooth when going over your stamp, especially this one here. We don't want to clog it, not on our first go at least. Then I have to clean the paint off my mom's pokey tool, because I don't know where my pokey tool is. It is somewhere in my area. I will find it one day. And then let's come and stamp it down. Ta-da! Look how cool that is. Oh my gosh. It's like the perfect circle. Perfect sketchy circle. Totally worth the time I put into drawing it. I think this is like the third edition of the circle that I drew. I drew quite a few circles and stars and other shapes before deciding that this was the one. It's because I wanted to make sure it was correct. Every week we have an avalanche. This week it's an ink. Right. Let's just remove that one. Here's the perfect imperfect. We're running out of paint on that last one. Just come spin a circle, remembering that our foam stamps don't absorb any of your paint, or absorb very minimal of it. So don't worry too much about absorbing anything. You don't have to put oodles amount on, because the stamp itself isn't going to absorb your paint. What we're going to do is we're just going to wet that lightly and come in, stamp that down in a few spots. And the reason why we wet it lightly is just so that we can get these clogged areas here actually removing the paint naturally, and then we don't have to go in with like a toothbrush or anything, because it is just a little bit more detailed. But look, stamp cleaned while painting. Simple. And if you're not 100% sure, just stamp it on your jeans that you're wearing, as long as they're not good ones. I'm not wearing good jeans tonight. My mum friend put a hole through them this day, but I don't think so. They've got the perfect amount of paint on them. Alright, so we're just going to come in and quickly dry this one here. I know I'm using the heat tool quite a lot. I don't actually like the heat tool, despite what you may think after tonight's class. It's not my favorite tool. Just don't like how it bulges on my projects. Right, so what we're going to come and do is we're going to do our flakes of green now before we add any more wet stuff. Because pen work is best when the page is dry. And this pen has already been affected by paint. So it's best to keep it to a minimum of exposure. So what do we think we're going to do? I reckon if we come in, just do some mini ones to match our circle, our other circles that we just stamped on. They're not quite as detailed, they're just one run and done. This is just to get some green in there. Well, I do think that looks quite nice. Don't know about you, but I like it. It sings. Right, so let's come in and add our rice paper flowers. So to do this, we're going to grab our paintbrush and our water tub. And we're just going to come in and we're going to do our feathering technique. Go around the edge of it. Make sure if you guys have any questions just to ask them. I am free and willing to answer pretty much any question. I can't promise you that I'll have the answer, but and if I'm not able to answer it in this class, then in the next one we will try it out. If you're going to ask me what we are doing for Geeks, I have no idea. My plan is just to survive the next Geeks weekend. It's kind of like a marathon. We've had a few people ask about what we were going to do, and I have no idea right now. There we go. We're just coming in and with our white paintbrush, as you can see, we go around our flowers. Some of these are quite close, just a heads up. It's okay if you rip a few petals off. Those are the ones that we're going to hide or show the most of. I'm not afraid of showing flowers that are missing petals. It's not my biggest fear. One of my biggest fears with my art is that it'll end up in a storage shed and never be seen. Just I don't know. It's just like it's not living. Right, okay, and then I do think we need a few more. When is it? That's an excellent question, Pam. late June, early July, I think. I've got no idea. My mom did tell me the date of it today, so I should know. I don't know. It's soon. It's in the next 2 months. If that helps. I'll find out. I'll keep you posted on that one. I'll find out tomorrow. I'm not going to interrupt Mom right now. She's having some time with Millie Moo on the couch. So, you know. And Amelia officially no longer has a cough, which is good. Just over that one. She did have a bit of a cough last week, and she had to spend 2 days off of school because of it. So, which was just, oh no, she had to spend a day off of school. That's right. She spent 1 day away from school last week because of it. Because, yeah, we didn't want to send her to school and get other people sick. Because that's how she got sick. So, you know, just wouldn't be fair. Right. There we go. I want to see how that goes. I think we have enough flowers. I'm not sure. I try not to use a full sheet just in case you guys do decide to do the class of the bundle and you have a few duds. As I know that some of you, like, sometimes they just rip a flower into like 18 different pieces and you're like, well, that's definitely not gluable because they're all like a mil thick. Which makes sense, but yeah. So I'm leaving a few backups. Right, here we go. So we got our flowers, and tonight we're going to use our gel medium gloss. You can use matte as well for this technique. I do prefer matte, but I have a tele gloss at the moment. Gloss is good for some techniques. I just prefer matte because I do matte finishes, as it's less glary for against the light when you're trying to take photos. And it's also, if you've got eyesight problems, you're able to focus a lot more on matte objects than gloss, so just kind of helps me with my process. But yeah, so here we go. I'm just going to come in and we're going to put a good layer of our gel medium on the back of our flower, and then on top. Now remember, because we're using gel medium, it's going to be see-through. It's not going to be opaque like the last few weeks that we've done it, because we've used gesso for the last few, like for most of these weeks we've used gesso. So we're going to use gel medium to show you that the transparent effect. Just a heads up, rice paper does find it easier to absorb the gel medium than what it does to absorb gesso. So you will need to pour on a bit more extra medium than what you have done in the past few weeks. And you will have to put some on top to ensure that there's no air bubbles, and oh, it gets a lot more stickier to your hands, as you can see. So this is going to become a little bit more difficult. Maybe a palette knife might be helpful, if you're good at palette knives, using them. There we go. Look at that. So we're just strategically placing them so it looks like it's part of the paper. So I put this one here over quite a dark spot, and as you can see, you can't really see it. We definitely lose it. So we're trying to aim for the more lighter areas, or the dark areas leading into the lighter areas where it makes a bit more sense for the flower to sit. I reckon one up here as well. There we go. We can get that. Oh, yep. We still have a little bit of movement left in some of this glitter here, so we're able just to get some of that glitter on top, which looks really nice. Oh, I've got a little flower stuck to one hand and a big flower stuck to the other. And by putting on a similar colour of pink as one of our beginning watercolour layers, it means that the flowers are going to blend quite nicely into the background and they're going to look seamless. And when I say seamless, I mean like nearly 100% like they are a part of the paper. I will show you again once I get a few more of these stuck down, so then you can see what I mean. Like, you can barely tell that they are collage, especially that one. That one there is just stunning. Like, look at that. It just adds a level to it. So we're going to come in down here. Making sure we do generous amounts of glue. The worst mistake you can make at this point is not using enough glue, because the rice paper then will just fall off and you might accidentally crumple it or something like that, because you'll have all this glue on your hands, and then that's where we start to run into a little bit of grief. The more glue that you have, the more likely you are to be able to get it onto the page in one piece. And saying that, we don't really want the Titanic. Like, there's a point where it's enough glue, and then there's a point of overboard. There we go. This is why pink is my favorite color. Hands down, this is the #1 reason. And I'm not even joking. My favorite page. Thank you, Diane G. I think that looks really nice. I'll just lift up to show you guys. I do want to add a little bit more, but not overboard, okay? Like, just like a little bit of shading here and there. Then I think we might be done. So we're just going to come in with our big paintbrush and then just get our two colours. Just come in. I'm just adding a little bit more of this colour on here. Oh, shivers. So we got the brown. Just so that when we add the cotton cream, it doesn't go overboard with the white then. We come to like glacé. So we're just going to dry that. Thank you guys. We're drying this. So we're going to come in and add cream before removing our tag. There we go. So we're just going to come in. Oh, isn't that great? First one off and we're just coming in. I'm adding some of this, bit more of like a smudge, so then it comes in and out of some of our flowers. And along this outline. Just a bit here to blend out that one a bit. And then just when you get to this point, you really want to make sure that everything you do really contributes to it. It's an Art by Marlene clotted cream is the color it's called. It's an acrylic paint with a nozzle end, which means you can do like little dots with it. It's really handy. It's a super handy size. You can make it into like a pearl drop type effect, as you can see here and here. They're super handy, and if they get clogged, all we got to do is pin it with a needle. It's not like some of the other ones we got to take the lid off and then take the next lid off and try and get in there with a palette knife. This one here is really simple. You just, it's like a glue bottle. Okay, so we've got all that done now, and what we want to do is, yeah, I do like those paints. They're super easy to use. Where is my scissors? My younger brother has attacked my area again. Right. It's okay, it's rice paper, so we don't actually need scissors. I don't think it would work with scissors. What we want is a paintbrush with some water on the end. Just to slice through. Oh dear. I ripped the tag. Oh no. I might use the pointed end a bit. Okay. Okay. So that's our tag that I have to decorate. I'm going to add it to the pile that I have not done now, which I have 4 tags now to create with, because I did all the others, see? Like, so these are the 4 that I haven't done yet. I know. Bad me. Bad me. But these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tags I have done. So, you know, I'm getting there. Just got a few. I'm ready for gift giving season now. So that's what we got so far. And what we're going to come and do is we're just going to grab our gold pens. Let me match this gold over here, which is nice and thick. We're going to come and do that a little bit here, trying not to get it into our glitter paint while we're at it, or our cotton cream dots. So that might just become a little bit of an issue. And then what we might do is, so I'll lift it up to show you. I'm just going to draw a tally there, 2, and then tally that, and that's to match these ones here, and our hatchings as well, just to keep it all together. There we go. And now, I don't know if it needs wood. It might do. What do you reckon? I was thinking I could probably go with cottage garden. 1 minute. We just tear it. If we have it like so, with a flower all coming out of it. Okay, 1 minute. So let's get these down. It does look like a cottage garden. Oh, thank you. So then we've got that one there. Down. Now we're just going to come in with our cottage garden title. Yes, that's because I was purely too lazy to go and look through my area for some other words, or write a word. Let me just lift that up to show you. That there. So cottage garden word, and I think that matches our page quite nicely. I think that's us done. I'll be completely honest, I do like the simplicity of this one. I am looking for my lead pencil though. Found it. I just want to darken a few of these bits here. That's purely so that I can see it. Personal preference. Right, there we go. Look at that. Now I can see clearly. Oh, we're all good. So yeah, so that is our class for tonight. The creative bundle, which has the rice paper, the stencil in it, and this one of our 2 lovely stamps we made today. So this stamp will be in a creative bundle. The rice paper is exclusive, well, the half sheet is. We do have a full sheet also. That's new on the online store, and in store. And we also have this one here, which is our 3 set, which we didn't use tonight, but we will use in projects later, I promise. But so that's tonight's class. I do like it. I think it worked really well with the resistance. It's a nice simple one. Well, kind of. We have lots of layers in it. I don't know if any of them are actually ever simple. I just call them simple. But thank you all for coming. And so just as a lovely reminder this week, so tomorrow we're in the new class group because it's a new month, which means, well, it's the start of a new month in the classes, which means it's June's class group. If you have bought a subscription, a kit, or a kit combo, and you are not in that group yet, please message us before 9:20 tomorrow, preferably by 8, so then we can get you in. If not, if you are in, we'll see you then. If you haven't bought one of those things and you wish to participate, just go online, have a look what we've got left for the June kits, and then, or we'll see you on Saturday because our Friday night class has moved to Saturday this week because Noah has a music performance, which our family is going to. And it should be fun. We'll have lots of photos to share of that. And, yeah, and if you haven't seen, we are participating in the Pride store display at the front. Mum wants to add a bit more, so you might see some more of that. The back pen that I used, it was the Pilot paint black pen. Where is it? It's the Pilot Pintor black fine pen. There you go. The barcode ends in 1421, but you guys don't see the barcode on the website. But yes, so thank you all for coming, and yeah, we shall see you during the week, no doubt. So have a great week, stay safe, and if we don't see you during the week, see you on Saturday. Bye.